here with Mike Blackman, and we're going to be talking about the AV industry in Asia Pacific and AV exhibitions that cater to our market. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Horia. Thank you for the invitation to come and speak with you, and I'm also delighted to be here.
So let's jump right into it. Asia Pacific has been crying out for a regional show for years, right? We've got a lot of manufacturers here. We've got a lot of good AV professionals, and it seems that we are finally going to have a show in InfoComm Southeast Asia that's going to fill the niche a bit, right? It's still got Southeast Asia in the name, but it's a really good start. Tell me behind how this show came about, what you guys saw on the floor to kind of go ahead and give it a real go.
I mean, firstly, this is Richard Tan runs the shows in Asia, and Richard's been really innovative in how we've developed all the events. We used to have a show in Singapore many years ago. We started the China show, first in Shanghai and Beijing, alternating, and found that Beijing was a stronger market. But I think the people from Asia Pacific, from particularly this part, Southeast Asia, felt a little bit neglected and weren't all going to Beijing. So, a lot of demand. So Richard has been really good in actually looking at this market for quite some time, trying to find a place where this would work, and he considered, one or two other locations. But I think he finally came down to finding a location that would be attractive for the whole region, that had the infrastructure for the facilities, for the hotels, for bringing people here. And this is my first time here. I think yesterday was a fantastic day. The show floor was buzzing. So resonance so far very good.
And obviously the number of Asian manufacturers globally is also increasing.
Yeah.
And they need a platform to be able to connect not only with their partners but with new clients and drive business. Tell me a bit about how InfoComm Southeast Asia hopes to accomplish that.
Well, firstly, it's not just for the manufacturers, it's for the local market. What you've got here is an international event. It's not just local manufacturers. So that's got to be the paramount part, is really to satisfy the local market. We're creating the marketplace for the manufacturers, wherever they come from, whether it's from Europe, whether it's from North America, whether it's just from Asia. And you'll see companies here who are coming from all over the world. So it's not just a local event, it truly is international representation from the exhibits. It's local in terms of the attendance. Those are the difference in actually seeing that. But what you're also seeing here are some local companies that we don't see. There are Singapore companies here that we don't see in some of our international events because they're focused on this local market. So it's really interesting to see new names and new faces here as well. And that's encouraging. We create platforms throughout the world for the AV industry. ISE is the largest event globally for the AV industry. The North American InfoComm show is coming up in 4 weeks' time. Satisfies primarily the North Americans, or the Americas, North and South America. We have shows across South America, or Latin America, I should say. There is a show that the associations are involved with in Australia, but primarily, we're covering almost the whole of the world with AV shows. So having something here is really good for actually building that platform worldwide. It's a good starting place for many companies who will then join us in other regions. And Asia Pacific generally in developing, being innovative in the AV industry would be great. More than 15% of the ISE show floor comes from this region, excluding the multinationals. So just really companies who are based here, who are actually contracting with us from this region. So it's really good for us to actually have a footprint here as well.
Yeah, and it's really great to see you here as well.
Thank you.
You deliver ISE, which in my opinion is the gold standard when it comes to AV exhibitions.
It's great to hear that, thank you.
Are you here to pick up some pointers, or are you here to make sure that InfoComm Southeast Asia avoids some of the early pitfalls these exhibitions can face?
We work as a team. Richard and I, Rochelle that runs North America, Max who runs Latin America, we meet regularly. We discuss standards for all of our shows so that we're keeping not just one or the other show as the best. We look to make sure that the standard across all the shows we're involved in are the best in the world, and that's paramount. And we share that information, so Richard knows already what works and what doesn't work, but we try to localize everything, and there are things that will work here that don't work in Europe or North America, and other way around as well. So, yes, I'm picking up pointers. I like to see what everyone else is doing to get new ideas and inspiration for us, and we do learn from each other in that way. Secondly, to give support to my colleagues in each of the shows, that we all support each other and come and bring ideas, try and encourage our partners from other areas to get involved as well. But thirdly, also pick up new business. We're seeing new exhibitors that we don't have in Europe. So it's good to meet with them and actually show them the opportunities that they have to participate in other shows in our group of events.
And just to cap off our conversation, personally, one of the most promising things I've kind of discovered from the show is that next year the show is going to be in Bangkok again.
Yes. Yes.
I would really like a Bangkok residency, kind of like ISE had with Amsterdam, because that just makes it a lot easier to get into the show. You know what you're expecting.
Yeah.
But on your end, what do you wish for the show? How do you wish for it to grow? Where do you see ISE? Where do you see InfoComm Southeast Asia in the next 2, 3, 4 years?
Well, I think we've had a phenomenal start for this show anyway. This is really, really good for a first-time show. It's bigger than the first ISE was. So it shows what the potential is for growth. And what we want to see is more and more strength from it. We're very careful not to have competitiveness between all of our shows. That's why we look very carefully at the dates, locations, and look very much towards the audience. But we have to also recognize that some of those exhibitors who we have in all of our shows also have to look at their program. How do we fit everything in? So, we're trying to help. We're trying to make sure that it grows. We're trying to make sure we create the best platform possible for this region.
Thank you so much for your time, Mike.
You're welcome. Thank you.